think. Okay, there. Ow, sorry. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
We're Curmudgeon Crafters. I'm Brianne.
I'm Kathy.
And this is our attempt at Flosstube.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll just start because I have my notes. So I think I've been stitching since 2014-ish. Not that long. When I was little, you gave me those like little embroidery kits from Michael's, but I didn't really keep up with it, and I didn't start seriously stitching until, like I said, about 2014, give or take. I was gonna ask you, are we saying where we live?
I don't know about the city, but
I was just gonna say Central California.
yeah, that's good.
Okay. We're in Central California, so right now, well, of course, right now it's overcast and nice weather. So, but we decided that we wanted to do Flosstube because she more than me, have been watching Flosstube for a few years now. And it's very fun. I like seeing what everybody's working on. Unfortunately, it gives you more things to add to your list. But it's also, I think, a good way of kind of doing like a journal to keep track of what you're working on and maybe keep you a little bit honest in making progress on things. And also, I want to have something of my mama so that when she's dead and gone, I can look back and be reminded of my sweet mama. So that's why I wanted to do Flosstube.
I wanted to do Flosstube because I wanted something to make me a little bit more accountable. Because I, like so many people, I am really gung-ho in starting things, and actually, like you said, Flosstube is bad because you see a lot of new patterns, new designers, and you just want to stitch everything because everything is so cool. And for a lot of my crafting things, I am really great about starting stuff, kitting things up, doing thorough research, and then starting it. And I think I exhaust myself from all the pre-prep to the actual execution of said craft. So I'm hoping that this makes me actually finish some stuff that I've started, because I've started a lot. And I have been watching Flosstube for quite a long time, and there are tons of Flosstubers out there now. I don't know if I'm not searching correctly or what the deal is, but I'm not finding a whole lot of stitchers who stitch the designs that I really am drawn to. So I figured, okay, well, let's do this, and then maybe we can get, maybe if anybody's watching this, you all can tell us of some other Flosstubers that are more on the same design line, I guess. Brianne's pretty good about research, and I just fall into things, kind of, sort of. So,
Yeah.
And she's a lot sweeter because I didn't think about the whole aspect of, oh, this could be kind of like a little diary thing, and when I'm dead and gone, she could have a little, just something, oh, remember when we were doing all this cross-stitching together. But it is a sweet idea, and she's much sweeter than me.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
She's mean.
Yeah, a little bit mean. Anyway, so I'm retired, so I am a full-time crafter now.
Yes.
So my dream has finally come true, although I'm not independently wealthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. I am still working full-time, but I now get to work from home. I work for the state, so I am on the computer all day when I'm not trying to avoid work. So, yep. I think we're pretty typical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to start with your finishes?
Oh, finishes?
Or however you want to start?
Sure. Finishes or whips?
Whatever's in your notes.
Well, I just went all over the place with my notes. Okay,
my
finishes.
Notes are in order.
Yeah. Okay. have actually a lot of finishes because I've been stitching. Oh, we haven't really talked about that. Well, you have. I've been stitching for probably 40 plus years. Started out with kits at a little craft shop that's no longer in business, and then when Michael's, actually I was in LA when I went to my first Michael's, and started out with Michael's kits, and then a coworker saw me doing something and she said, "Oh, did you hear about this local store?" And it's like, no. So she took me there, and I never imagined you could buy the design and then you could choose the fabric and you could choose the floss. And there was no fancy floss then, it was just DMC, but it just was, it was overwhelming, all of the designs that you could find. So that's when I really launched into hot and heavy cross stitcher, and I'm a collector too.
Oh yeah, we both stitch patterns and we collect patterns.
Yes, and a lot of it is because I think sometimes I'm going to live forever and I'll have time to stitch everything. And then a lot of it, I try to put my money where my mouth is and support the designers that I enjoy their work. I enjoy their philosophy, what I am privy to. And, and everyone collects.
Yeah.
Collecting isn't bad. Well, it can be bad, but it's not bad.
The patterns haven't taken over yet.
No. Actually, out of all my hobbies, cross-stitching is my most contained.
Yes, it is.
Because I make cards, I sew stuff, I crochet, and yarn's really bulky.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to spin yarn.
She keeps saying that's the last
I also
craft.
want a couple of goats
And
sheep.
That
they
has
keep
been
saying
vetoed.
No. I'm married.
Yeah.
And he's very, very understanding, very supportive of all my thing because I'm much more pleasant when I'm happy. But yeah, they're both saying no to the goats. Baby goats. They're so cute. Anyway, so here are some of my finishes. So I have a lot of finishes, and I don't really care about framing things or finishing because I have learned through Flosstube that I'm a process stitcher, but I'm a moody process stitcher. So I love
tentative schedule and plans.
Yeah.
It's in pencil now.
Because I don't do Whipco. I don't do Mania. Just this year, I had a New Year's start, a couple of birthday starts, and then in May, I wanted to do a couple of what I considered May things. I don't do challenges. I've done a couple of Sal's, and I've been pretty successful, and they've been fun. But it's kind of like going on a diet. As soon as you're on a diet, then you want to eat everything that you're not supposed to eat on the diet. So I try to just, what do I feel like stitching today? So that's kind of how I stitch. Anyhow, so only one thing is actually fully finished. The rest, I did press it today, and they're carefully rolled up and safely tucked away in a drawer. But here is Country Stitch Magic. She does a whole series of Star Wars planets. That was my first one. I have to come this way. That was my first one, and it's a full coverage, but it's a tiny full coverage. Like, what is it? Oh, it's a 6 by 8.5. It's on 20 count Ada. DMC 1/1, and it was a lot of fun, and it gave me a little bit of a taste. Do I really want to attempt full coverage? And this was fine. So, and Star Wars. My which one? This, I just had a scrap of fabric, and I'm a big fan of Prairie Schooler. This is a little one. She's so cute. And I'm also a big fan of Cotton and Cotton floss. So I when I found them, I wanted to use them on everything. So I changed colors out because there's only 2 colors here, 3 colors. And I changed it out to color and cotton. And then Tiny Modernist on her website, she has a lot of little freebie patterns. And here's one. So this is all backwards.
I think it'll be fine for the video.
Really?
We don't know.
Okay.
We'll figure it out, guys.
She's also the
I will. So
tech support.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one of my successful sales. Supernatural by the Witchy Stitcher. I think this was last year. Last year? I don't know.
Yeah.
Kept up with it. I changed out a few things. I added a DMC étoile on everything because I just like that little shimmer sparkly thing. But I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And one of these days, I will frame it. Because I do want to see it. When I bring it out of the drawer and I unroll it, it's like, oh, it's so pretty. And I had a good time stitching it. So
yeah, you love her sales.
I do. So this one is how it's charted, designed. And it's very pretty. My husband really loves Lord of the Rings stuff. Out of all this, and there's tons of designs out there. Out of everything I saw, I like this one the best. And then I remembered how picky he was. So I said, hey, and I sent him 3 pictures, which is the more authentic. I'm just curious, which is the more authentic Bilbo Baggins door. And he of course had an opinion and told me why. And it's like, okay, so I love this chart. It's really cool, but I changed it out for a more authentic Bilbo Baggins door. And this is probably the first chart that I really changed a lot in the colors, and I moved things around.
You added stuff.
Yeah, I did add stuff. It was a lot of fun, and it also gave me a taste of, oh, this is what full coverage feels like, because it's so heavy. It feels like a tapestry. Yeah, this is a gift that it too will be framed.
Yeah, I mean, it's finished.
But the whole thing is, I want him to go in to look at the frame, because I think it would be kind of cool to be in a round frame.
Yeah, I think that would fit the spirit of it.
And the pattern, I did the Tolkien little thing. That was an Etsy thing that I found, and I added it because he really loves that little symbol thing. So anyhow, that is a bigger piece. And then my favorite one.
The only fully finished.
The only fully finished. And Brianne got this for me, I don't know how many years ago. It was on Etsy.
Yeah.
The only thing I changed. This is our cat, Joey. Little rust spots, little goatee. The disgusted expression is completely Joey. And the girth and the pose is Joey.
Yes.
Again, because I like the little shimmery stuff and I hate metallics, I did the little ornament or lights in étoile. So, and this is finished, and this hangs in my craft room all year round because it's finished.
And
It's
adorable.
Joey. It's Joey. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
So my finishes. I am just showing finishes that I've done this year, and I have nothing that is fully finished because I just don't want to. So this is Legend of Sleepy Hollow by the Witchy Stitcher. It's on 14 count, I think, Cauldron by Picture This Plus.
So pretty.
It is called for DMC, and the only thing, she got me onto a toile, so I don't know if you can see, but the bats and the moon are a toile.
A little sparkly.
Yeah, so a little bit of sparkle.
I can see it.
Well, yeah, I know you can see it.
It's pretty.
I think I stitch everything 2/1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Loop method.
Yeah, because I want to do the loop method. I've tried now the one strand and the weaving in, and it's not as difficult as I thought it would be, but I just want the loop method. It's so easy. And this is Stay Inside the Salt Ring. Supernatural, if you don't know. It's by Cross Stitch Foxy on Etsy, and I just did it on 14 count Black Ada. And I guess this is that Charles Craft. So this was actually, I think, my first ever stitched in hand because it's so stiff. I kind of couldn't get it in a hoop, so that ended up working out. And then this is one of my favorite finishes to date. And, oh, thank you. I call it Tiny Scapula, but it's Tiny La Scapigliata. I didn't take Italian in school. It's the original art is by Da Vinci, and the design is by Cross Stitch Obsession on Etsy. And this was one of the first like full coverage things that I did. And yes, it's like 2.5 inches, and it's really small, but it is solid. See that? Just solid. I did all the called for DMC. The only change I did, my mom helped me with the idea of putting like a little border around it just to kind of finish it off a bit. That was a really enjoyable stitch. I was getting a little worried until I got to the end because it didn't look like anything. But then at the very end, it does look like a
Yeah,
painting.
she looked like just sand for the longest time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so, she's very pretty.
Yeah, it came out really well. Yeah, well, he's little. And then the next one, Mouse Rat. If you don't get it, it's Parks and Rec, one of the best shows in the world. The design is by Happy Sloth Patterns on Etsy. And again, this is on like Charles Craft 14 count stitched in hand. The 2 called for DMCs. I think I was able to stitch that because it's not really that much. I was actually able to stitch it in 2 sittings, so that was super exciting. And then the last finish is a part of actually a SAL that you kind of came up with.
That I did not stick with.
We're now putting it into a multi-year SAL.
Yes, it was overambitious to think we're going to stitch all of them in 1 year.
Yeah, and then plus we're extending the enjoyment. And so it is what we're calling the Sabbath SAL, and all the patterns are by the Witchy Stitcher. And this is Ostara. And it's on 16 count something. Probably Picture This Plus. I don't really know. It's all the called for DMC. You can't tell. I know that I did. This little bunny guy here, I messed up on the counting for some things, but he looks fine. So I think it's fine.
It looks good.
You can't tell. And then this is not finished, but it's part of that SAL is Imbolc. I was calling it Imhotep from the Mummy because I couldn't remember the name. So,
and I did flipped. I finished the first one, and then I didn't finish Ostara. I don't even think I got to the bunnies.
And just so that you guys can see, these are all of the finished, what they're going to look like.
Yeah.
So
again, multi-year SAL.
Yeah, it'll work. It's fine. I did forget on one of my finishes. I'm finished stitching the pattern, but I'm going to, when I fully finish it, I am going to make some edits. So Stay Inside the Salt Ring. This is what the pattern is actually supposed to look like. And I didn't stitch the salt ring because I'm hoping to put this in a hoop and find some kind of salt looking beads and glue those around the ring so that it can be like a salt ring.
I like that 3D effect.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I may have some beads, but that's, well, I'm lazy, and then also I don't have the beads, so that's why it's not fully finished. But those are all my finishes.
Very nice.
Okay. Do you want me to do whips or do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay.
Oh gosh, that means I have to get another pile, huh?
Yep. Okay. So this year I decided to do both Whitgo and Mania. Because I learned that I was a monogamous stitcher, and it took me a really long time to finish things because I was getting bored. Because I have also since learned that I am a mood stitcher, and sometimes I'm not in the mood for that one pattern. So I am showing just a handful of the whips. I have, between Whipgo and Mania, I decided to do 15 for Mania. I have a lot started right now. So we're not going to show them all right now. But the first one is one of the largest things that I've ever worked on. And it's a sal that I'm trying to stay on top of. But the frame is supposed to be worked on in May. And we get the first item in June. So
Like when, June?
June 1st.
Oh.
So the frame will not be finished.
Like Thursday? Is that June 1st?
Yeah. So the frame will not be finished, but I do know where the first item goes, so I can finish the frame around that. And this is the Morbid Curiosities Cabinet of Curiosities Sal by the Stitch Crypt. It is stitched on 18 count Aida, Haunted by Picture This Plus, with all the called for DMC. And it is a doozy. For me, pretty. It's beautiful, but for me, this is like a ginormous pattern. And, of course, I have learned that I already messed up on it. Let me... So now I have too many papers. So this is what the frame is going to look like. And so, I think it's on this side. I counted in a way that made sense and now realized it didn't. So I basically have to, I think, take off, this is what I have. I have to take off probably roughly that much of my bottom to get it to actually fit the pattern.
But that's an easy fix.
Yeah, it's just, so I'm not really worried about that. I miscount, and if I've miscounted things, and I'll stitch over one color with the correct color because that's the kind of stitcher I am. And the next whip I have, it is almost finished, and I'm hoping to finish it this weekend. It is called Statue of David by Bad Stitch on Etsy. This was my first time trying the easy grid count, or easy grid, and I think it was my first time with 16 count. It came out better than I expected. I love this so much.
Yeah. It's very pretty. Gosh, yeah. It's almost done. So,
yeah.
So you just have like, well, maybe less than an inch of border to do, huh?
Yeah. And I did change that pattern. This is what the finished product is supposed to be, and she just stitched it, or they stitched it on blue, and I was trying out the easy grid, so that's why I did what I did. And I decided to stitch a border with fancy floss, and so I used, it is Siren by Night Stalker's Calling. And this was my first ever time stitching one strand. Like I said, it wasn't as difficult as I thought, but I am a loop method girl, which is why that's not finished. And then my next whip is almost finished as well. I can probably finish it probably in June. This is Captain America, I Can Do This All Day by Cat in the Crafty Hat on Etsy. It's just on 14 count Aida with the called for DMC. This has been a fun stitch. It's just chunks of color, so it's not anything. You do have to count. I learned you do have to pay attention.
It's pretty.
Yeah. So this next one I am in love with. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's just where's my okay. So it is the Bat Skeleton by Night Spirit Studio. It is so beautiful. It's so much fun so far. Even though I messed up her arm and I had to frog her arm, it's still super fun. It is on 14 count Ada. I think it's Mirage by Picture This Plus.
Is this Mirage?
I'm not really sure.
I really like it.
It's something by Picture This Plus. I did all the called for DMC. I believe I have completed the skeleton. So the skeleton outline and stuff is all done. It's based on some painting, like the Batwoman or something. I don't know the artist. I like the original painting, and so put a skeleton in it, I'm going to love it even more. And I've really been enjoying Night Spirit Studio patterns. Her patterns are so cool. They're the cool, like, dark, gothy vibes without being straight horror. And they're really easy to follow. I enjoy, like, they're a fun pattern to stitch. The next one is... It is really cool, but it is mostly words. It's called Common Sense. It is by Sassy and Mad Stitches on Etsy. And the finished one will have some flowers. That's all I have left to do. So I just have to work on the flowers. When I was prepping stuff for Flosstube, we both noted that I kind of hate stitching words and alphabets. They're just not my favorite thing. I especially don't like stitching back-stitched words. And yet, a lot of my patterns either have a lot of words or, like, that one is basically all words. And it's not my fault. I like quotes, and words are just amazing and wonderful. So what are you going to do? Oh, speaking of words, so this next one is literally just words. There's nothing else to it. I looked for a finished picture of the pattern. It's called Fun Run by Casey Cross Stitch on Etsy. I did not find it in her shop, so I don't know what happened with it. But this opposite colors is what the pattern's going to be. Just words. Literally just words. But it is from, again, one of the best shows in the world. I love that episode. If you don't know, that is the one where Michael hits...
From The Office.
Yes, it's from The Office. Thank you. I just assumed they know. That is when Michael hits Meredith with his car. While she's in the hospital, they find out that she could have rabies. And Michael, in hopes to deflect the negativity of running down an employee with his car, does a fun run for Meredith for rabies awareness. So, and this, was in, like, mid-2000s. So, it's really important, you guys, to be aware of rabies.
And that is really the only word that pops out when I look at that.
Yes, your eye does go to that. And now for alphabets, which I don't like. One of the reasons why I'm not a big sampler fan, it's just not my cup of tea. But I also don't want to stitch the alphabet. So what do I do?
Unless it's Greek.
Yeah, that is the big thing. It's a Greek alphabet. So thank you. That makes it better, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't believe that I stitched a whole freaking alphabet. This is what the finished product is going to be. Let me see. I'm going to have to bend it. I absolutely love the colors. And it's done with just 2 colors of DMC. and I really like the style of the alphabet, so unfortunately I had to do a back-stitched alphabet, but look at how good it is.
It is very pretty.
This is called the Greek Font Sampler, so two things that I'm not a fan of, by Bad Stitch, who also did the David I, and it is on 14 count natural cream, some kind of Ada, and it's just the two called for a DMC. And the needle minder is a gift from my mom, so I don't know where it's from.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's somebody on Etsy. We'll check notes and include stuff in the, I don't know why I'm pointing down. We'll include stuff in the description box.
Yeah. I think I bought from like 3 or 4 sellers that day.
Yeah, you did. And then the last whip I have is probably one of the largest ones I have. And let me, oh, she's in here. This is what the finished pattern is going to be. And it's So She Dances Skeleton Ballerina by Meg C. I have never done dance. I have especially never done ballet dance. Oh, and here's the whole piece of fabric. I just love skeletons, and I like that she's gonna have little spiders all over her, and I like the colors, so I like enough about it that the ballerina part doesn't matter. This is stitched on 18 count ballet slipper by Vintage Needle Arts. So obviously I had to use this. Yeah, it's beautiful. Is that? I think that's a pretty good.
That is yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very light, subtle modeling on her fabrics. I think I'm stitching on technically the right side. This is the wrong side. They're both really pretty. I think you stitch on the wrong side. Yeah. And it still looks really nice. Oh, thank you. So those are all my whips.
Very nice. Words and skeletons. Huh.
Yes.
Huh.
Here. Thank you.
I have a lot of whips. I have so many whips. And I don't want to do a whip parade because, well, I have too many whips. And then they're scattered in several different places. Yeah. And so I'm going to just show stuff because apparently I'm just a moody whip person too. So
you're a cereal starter. I just heard that.
I am. On Instagram, I did a hashtag of chronic starter because of all of the yeah.
Well, because you love to kit things up.
You
love to start them.
She doesn't like kitting. I think one of the most fun things is kitting up a project. I love all the prep.
My favorite thing is once I have started stitching and I'm just working on it. So I think that I just like stitching. I don't, yeah.
Well,
and also for me, I'm a very indecisive, waffly person. So with the abundance of choices for designs, floss, fabric, it just starts to be overwhelming.
Yeah, she kind of stalls at fabrics because, well, now there's so many. Yeah. There are so many people who do beautiful over-dyed fabric. And there are so many colors, you know, because when I first started stitching, it was Ada, and it was white and ivory or antique white. I remember we were all excited about fiddler's cloth. Oh my gosh, there's little speckles.
Or light blue.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw light blue at Michael's.
Yeah. So I can see where, you know, new stitchers are absolutely bombarded with so many decision-making choices, and that's great, but it can be overwhelming. And until you kind of get a feel for what your style is, if you have a style, then it's hard. And, you know, things are pricey. So, and not only pricey, but then where are you going to put everything? So, anyway, I'm going to show the stuff that I'm currently actively, like, almost every other day sitting down to stitch. I am participating in one current SAL, although I've signed up for a couple of them, but I signed up knowing I wasn't going to stitch during the SAL. This one I knew I was going to stitch during the SAL because her first SAL I was just heartbroken that I did not keep up with for a multitude of reasons, and I was so disgusted. So when I heard she was going to do this one, even if I didn't like the subject matter, I was going to stitch it and I was going to keep up with it. So Lola Crow. Oh, I have my little things.
What things? Oh,
yeah. So now I totally get Flosstube people where they say everything's spread out and they're moving things and dropping things and like looking around like where oh yeah
we've tried really hard to be organized and very quickly that just fell apart.
Yeah. So this is Lola Crow's Greenhouse of Oddities. She dropped the first plant on Friday. I had 14 hours of being completely caught up with this greenhouse frame, so yay. And then she did the plant. She gave us the plant and a little owl. Oh. And again, I'm caught up, so I'm going to be caught up for several days now. I'm feeling quite smug.
And there's the plant.
Yeah. I really like her designs. I like how she runs her SAL. Because I have found some other SALs that I don't really care how they're run. And another thing when I was kind of describing myself, I'm super picky. I'm really, really, really judgy, but I try to keep it to myself because,
you're quietly judgy.
It's like everyone has opinions and that's not, just because you have an opinion, it's not an invitation to share. Just like when I look at Instagram, I don't agree, or just keep scrolling. You don't have to.
Yeah, it kills me. It's so easy to.
Yeah.
And yet you stop and waste your time and energy to mess with somebody else.
So because I'm so picky, and I'm told by people who know me pretty well that I'm so picky, I'm just embracing that, and I'm not going to fight with being outraged. Why don't they do it this way? Why, it just makes sense and blah, 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 blah. So when I find a designer that runs a SAL where I love the theme, I love the colors they pick, I love how they run the SAL, just going to go with it and just trust that even if I don't really like the finished piece, it'll be a gift to somebody.
And it'll be fun.
So this one I will keep because I love it so much. Oh, and this one is 32 count sage linen by Vintage Needle Arts. All the called for DMC except for the black and the white. I had heard on multitude of Flosstubers that they preferred Anchor because it was a little bit plumper, and I agree with them. I'm really happy with the coverage of the black and the white, especially the black. I feel like I'm betraying Meg for the Witchy Stitcher when I say that I prefer Anchor to DMC 310.
If you don't know, Meg is the designer, owner, creator, Witchy Stitcher, and
she sells cones of doom 310.
Cones of 310 because her patterns use so much 310. They look great, like I
wonder if she gets a kickback from DMC for that 310.
I mean, there are other colors.
Yeah, but I have a problem, or I've had problems with DMC. Just I'm picky, so I'm not really happy with the coverage. But this Anchor, I'm happy with that. So I'm up to date. Yay! I've got some downtime that I can work on some other things. My next one is, speaking of Witchy Stitcher, this is from Witchy Stitcher, and it's called That's No Moon. It's on 16 count Ada. Easy Stitch for Fun, I think is the company.
I think so, on Etsy.
Yeah, it is digitally printed,
Yeah.
so they're very limited in the size fabric that you can get. But I thought this one was perfect. Or, oh, can you use it?
Can you see it okay?
Yeah. So I'm nearly done with the Dust Star. I think I only have one color left to do, and then I have the text. Oh, yeah, I'm slacking. I have the text left to do, and I am going to throw in some étoile in there because I can't stand it.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but she loves étoile. If there is any place that a little sparkle could work, she will
really,
do that.
Really?
Yeah. Where isn't there a place?
Sparkle. My next one is from.
Huh? I'll put it on here.
Oh, thanks. It's another one from Country Magic Stitch, and she has 4 designs so far in the Harry Potter world. This is Diagon Alley. I'm doing them in what I consider school calendar order, so you'd have to go and get, you get your list from Hogwarts, you go and do your shopping. The next one is Hogwarts Express, and then there's Hogwarts Castle, and then Hogsmeade, and I'm hoping she does some more. I have a list of suggestions if she needs any ideas. This is full coverage, 20 count, I think it's called Blue Cashmere Ada, DMC, 1/1. That's it. I don't think I've done any changes to this. It's a fun stitch. I'm right now I have been doing chunks of the building, so now I'm over doing the dragon's wing, and it's compared to this, it's like confetti, and it just makes my eyes hurt sometimes. But it is a lot of fun. The next one, oh my gosh, yet another Country Magic Stitch. I finished Hoth, and now I'm doing Tatooine. This was a birthday start for me, so very exciting. My favorite color is orange. I'll never wear orange because it makes me look a little bit dead, but I love orange. So this is pretty brass and bold, but I like it. I like it a lot. And then, it is in my Star Wars project bag.
That she made.
Because I sew a little bit. I get very, 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 very nervous sewing on my sewing machine, which I love my sewing machine. I got that for retirement a few years ago, and I love it. It is great, wonderful machine. It's a Juki TLQ 2010 something like that. Everybody has one. It's a straight stitch. It's just, But I get really, really nervous using a sewing machine because it's a motor, and I just don't feel really confident I know what I'm doing, that I'm gonna. So I go in fits and spurts with sewing, and when I was doing the project bags, well, Brianne says I need one with a zipper and a handle, and she gives me a list, and it's like, so I go out and look for a pattern. Couldn't find a pattern. Contacted the designer, the bag designer that I made a lot of her bags.
This is. Go ahead.
I asked her, I told her what I wanted, and was that on her list to design, and she says, oh, there's so many project bag designs and patterns right now, it's not really high on my list. And it's like, okay. So then I was whining and bummed, and I thought, well, screw it. And normally I would have used the F word, but I'm trying to be polite on this first Flosstube. So that's an FYI.
We'll ease you in.
I cussed a lot. My dad was he's in the Navy, and he was a truck driver, and he cussed a lot. That's how he expressed himself. So anyway, fair warning, I cuss. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll just do my own damn bag, And so I cobbled literally from like 3 or 4 different bags what I wanted. And I fiddled around and I did a lot of cussing.
Yep.
And finally came up with this. She liked it. I liked it. I don't do the vinyl things because I love fabric.
Yeah, look at this beauty. And this is spoon flower. A lot of the project bags are done in spoon flower.
And I understand the concept of the vinyl bags, and they could be convenient because you can kind of see right in. Like I said, I have a lot of whips. They're multi-yeared whips, and I'm afraid that maybe my DMC or whatever floss would fade.
Yeah.
And I love fabric. I don't know if I mentioned I love fabric. So I want to see all the fabric. I don't, and then I don't know, maybe it would make me bummed that I'm seeing half done whips and it's like, oh, I should get, I don't know, I might feel guilty. So anyway, I just would rather see fabric.
Yeah, and then she also, because this is how she stitches, she does fully lined.
Well, so because of course you do.
So in here, so this is Supernatural, and then if I can get, this is...
Oh, is that the smoke?
This is smoke. And if you watch Supernatural, you know that when demons are like exorcised or they're jumping ship, they turn into smoke. So
and then they find the next meat suit that they can find.
So it's very thoughtful.
Oh yeah, there's always a story.
Yeah,
I
very
might be the only
for all of her stuff.
I might be the only one that understands the story or the logic behind it, but it makes total sense with me.
Also, for the Notions bag, which I love Notions bag. So this is the hand that Cass put on Dean's shoulder when Cass dragged him out of hell. And Cass, well, Misha's eyes are blue and his tie is blue, so there's the blue. Was this the baby fabric?
And yeah, that's baby fabric. That's
but it works. It works really well with the overall theme.
Yeah. You just don't get pigeonholed in something like, oh, this is baby fabric, and you just think, oh, that's all I can do. And no, you can do a lot. So I'm making some project bags. I have a whole stack of fabric that Brianne has.
Well, because like I told you, I'm starting a lot more things now.
I know. 15 in May, right?
And I mean, I'm using IKEA bags because they're wonderful, and IKEA is great. There's my IKEA
I'm
plug.
using Ziplocs.
But you saw the project bags are really nice.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta start this. So my last whip that I was so hoping to finish this, because I was gonna try to give it to him for his birthday, but oh well, Christmas is good. This is who is this? This is Rebecca Leota.
Yeah.
On Etsy. And this is a little Lord of the Rings quote. And my husband likes
The Hobbit, right?
Yeah, my husband likes to eat. He appreciates food. He cooks all our food. He loves food. He loves talking about food. We watch
food, baking.
The screensaver wallpaper thing is always a food. Food is a big deal. So I thought that would be a good. Well, he'll end up having actually quite a bit of Lord of the Rings designs once I'm done, because I thought it would be very funny for our anniversary. I'm going to do the ring. One ring to rule them all. Yeah. So those are my whips, and that is what I'm actively working on right now. Might change.
Oh, did you want to say who did the floss? Because you use specialty.
Oh yes.
Isn't it your Precious?
Yeah, it is my Precious.
She'll be able to go into.
Oh, and here's a little project bag. It's Christmas because he also loves food and Christmas. That's his thing. So it's a smaller one because a lot of the smaller project bags projects get lost in the bigger bags. And this is from Color and Cotton. And I don't even think you can really tell. It's a mist dye.
Oh gosh, I'm doing the hand thing. I want to do that.
It's a mist dye. I just wanted something different for the words. And I do love Color and Cotton. Color and Cotton is a very, very plump floss.
I don't know
You
if
get
can see that.
8 yards, where a lot of other overdyed floss you only get 6. I love all the colors. Love their customer service. I am part of their.
Like all of their monthlies.
Yeah, I can't get into their neutral fabric, but if I could, I would. So I'm doing the. I don't know what it's called. The Wild and Crazy. I don't know.
Oh, the brights?
Yeah, maybe it is brights, but it doesn't seem like it's bright, the stuff that I've gotten.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty. It's different colors. It's not all like grays and tans and stuff. But I love their floss. I wish, like, so you can find conversions for Classic Colorworks Weeks, Gentle Arts, and I'm having a really hard time finding conversions for color and cotton. But I would love to find something, or actually I'm going to just start doing it myself. I have the DMC thread swatch book thing and just do that.
She really loves color and cotton.
Yeah, when I find designer or product that that I enjoy, that I like, that I believe in,
and fits your parameters,
I really am loyal to them.
She is.
And I'm very impressed with color and cotton.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like a lot of people are,
yeah,
as far as Flosstube goes. And I wish I was a little bit closer to St. Louis, because I would be haunting their store.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, their wall of floss. It just makes me want to drool. I just can't. I'd go in there and I would just be a gibbering idiot. I probably wouldn't even make any noise. I would just be staring.
Probably.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. But maybe Dad and I'll do a road trip, and I think he already knows that we'll be going to different stores just to, because we don't have a local needle shop. We have Michael's, we have Joann's. We have another craft store that we don't go to, but we don't have like a.
Yeah, we don't have like an actual needle shop like for cross stitch.
No.
So
there are some yarn shops, but it would be really nice. I guess that's one of the reasons too, doing Flosstube, because we don't have anything local, and it's not like I became best friends with any of the customers when we did have a local needle shop. But you kind of got to know them. You got to know the owner. It was just nice to chitty chat about stitching, because my husband has been watching Flosstube, so he understands a lot about cross stitch now, which is,
he speaks very intelligently, and he'll say, "Well, why did they stitch that on that fabric?"
It's funny, but but he doesn't have a love for it, and you can't have like an in-depth discussion. Brianne is becoming much more versed in it, but her design style is different than mine. Like, she probably, unless it's some quirky weird sampler, she'll never do a sampler.
Yeah, I love the history of samplers,
but not to stitch one.
They're just not for me.
I have from the very beginning, I have loved Prairie Schooler. I have a lot of Prairie Schooler, a lot, and I guess you can just sell that on eBay when I die.
I know that I am probably in the minority of Flosstube. There have been a couple things that I like, but Prairie Schooler is just not for me.
What did I do? What did I do wrong? She's not really even into Star Wars either, so.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, she does question whether or not we're related.
We have a lot of similar features, so I know that there was no mix-up at the hospital, but.
I mean, I do. Well, okay. I am not a fan of Star Wars, except for Rogue One. I love that movie. I have seen that. I don't know how many times now. I love that movie.
I don't even consider that part of the franchise.
Okay, well, I think that's the best Star Wars movie. And I love The Mandalorian show.
I do
so
too.
much. Beyond that, I mean, they're fine, but it's just not. It's not for me.
I'd love to have an apartment at Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland.
Yes, you would.
Just immerse myself constantly. Anyway,
So fall.
yeah, we started talking about Star Wars.
Okay, so the haul is going to be a little bit lighter because I've been trying to be mature and fiscally responsible. And last year I added a lot to my collection of patterns. So this year I'm trying to rein it in. That being said, I think it was last night, I bought a bunch of patterns on Etsy. So, you know, within reason, trying to be restrained. I did three main purchases this past month. One is from Stitched Modern. They're all online because, like we said, we don't have a local one. It was mostly
like notions and
stuff. Yeah, notions, tools, stuff like that. So I was just going to show a couple of my favorites. This is a cross stitch gauge. I thought was so cool, so you can see what count the fabric is if you have had it forever and you don't remember anymore. So
she was pretty horrified when she was looking at 20 count.
Oh yeah, look at can you guys see? Look at this. Look at the little itty bitty lines that are almost just next to each other. So the highest I've done, and I've only done it this year, is 18 count. Mm-hmm. I had just been 14 count for years. Last year I tried 16 count, and then this year I tried 18. Not as bad as I thought it would be, but yeah, that 25 is I'm not looking forward to that. And then these are floss bobbin rings. They're, where did I put it? They're to just put your floss, because I keep my floss in floss away bags. I don't do floss drops because we have cats and dust, and this is how I learned from her.
I've been using floss away bags for years,
so that's how I do it. These little rings are really, really good. They're very lightweight. They can hold quite a bit. I did have to learn how to open them. They're not that tricky. They were for me at first, but I got it down. It's fine. So that's from Stitched Modern. She has, I think, a lot of kits, some patterns, fabric, a lot of different Adas, different color Adas, and she has a ton of cool notions. Mm-hmm. So I would highly recommend her. And she's I'm impatient, so I want my stuff like right away. But she is actually, or they, I don't know, no, they're very good about timing and packaging, stuff like that. So I've been very happy with them. The other one,
oh, I forgot my stuff. Oh.
Yeah, from Frosted Pumpkin, they are starting a new Sal. And I think that's the one you were talking about. Mm-hmm. It's, what is it called?
Castle Homecoming, or
it's really, you know Frosted
Pumpkin is so cute, but not sickening cute.
They somehow, and we don't know how they do it, but for all their patterns, like if this is the line, this is sick, they go right up to the line of sickeningly cute, but they never cross it.
Yeah.
And we don't know how they do it, but so it's always super, super cute. I don't know. Oh, I was going to get this. So I got the fancy floss that they called for in that. I'm probably not going to use it for that project. I'm just trying to build up my fancy floss. And I think it was from Classic Color Works. Pixie Dust and Blacksmith Blue. Very pretty. I don't know what I'll do with them, but I've learned from my mom that you just get pretty fancy floss and you never know when you'll need it.
Comes in handy to have in your stash when you're like trying to kit something at 2 o'clock in the morning, or stitch something. That
she's a night owl and being retired. Yeah. And then, of course, most of my needle minders are from Frosted Pumpkin. They do, I think they work with a needle runs through it, and they're all the wooden ones. Here is the trolley. I don't remember what Sal this was for, but it's adorable. And then here are the ones for the Homecoming Castle Sal. And I don't remember what their little is it like Sugarloaf and Jack or something?
They're little mascots.
Yeah. I have been so pleased and impressed with their needle minders. The magnets are super strong. So you can hold excess fabric. It'll still hold your needle. It'll grab onto your scissors. And when I was a monogamous stitcher, I used like the same needle minder for everything for a couple years. And on here, it started scratching off a little bit, but it has held up really well considering that's the only needle minder I used. And then I got more fancy floss from Forbidden Fiber Company because I think they showed up on Instagram, and then I started looking and it was like, oh, these are cool. I am a sucker for marketing and packaging and names, so you'll see how that plays out. But this one is called Deep Sea Dive. It's a pretty color, but I also just like the name and trying to keep building my stash. This is a set that is called Wednesday, and it comes with, let's see if I can do all this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. So clever. Okay, so you can see it's Wednesday, Pale Thistle, and Poinsettia. I don't know how to get the color right on here, so it's just going to be what it is. It's a pretty black, a white, and a nice, like, warmer red. And
That's pretty good, actually.
yeah, it's not too bad. And, of course, it is for the show Wednesday for Netflix. I really enjoyed that show. Love Tim Burton. Speaks to my dark heart. Although I'm wearing, you wouldn't know it from my shirt, but the next one is a set called Dracula's Confession, so had to get it. It has Wookiee, Greige, Raisin, Nightlock, and Inkwell. So let me try and organize this a bit. Okay. They're all super pretty. And the Nightlock, I do believe they have a set of Hunger Games themed floss. So I'm assuming that is from that. They're all pretty subtle.
They're very pretty.
Yeah, but they're very, I don't know if it's coming across here. They're really, really pretty, nice, rich colors.
Yeah, this one is kind of like a dark mulberry. It's maybe not coming out as deep of a color.
Yeah. And then I did get some more floss, but I'll talk about that in my upcoming. So that's my haul.
So I forgot. Well, Brianne got me some of these because I really like them a lot. I have binder rings, but they're very, very, very heavy. These are lightweight. I like that they're more secure with screwing closed, where some of the binder rings, they don't match up very well. And she also got me, what did you get me?
I got you the castle. You said you wanted the castle.
Oh, the castle. Ooh. She got me that. And I'm toying with the idea, although I've not gotten any of the floss, any of the fabric, but they sent out the first
clue.
And it's so cute. It's frosted pumpkin. It's so cute. But anyway, I'm just...
Now, for the frosted pumpkin style, because they've already done the first clue, if you're questioning it and you're like, oh, well, I can't get everything, they give you a whole month, and it's not a big thing.
No, it's not. That's why I'm seriously considering it.
So you could, I think, pretty easily catch up. And it will be adorable and fun. So, do you want this thing?
Yeah, I kind of have this in order. This is, I'm in the Color and Cotton Thread Club. I'm in all of their thread clubs. So I get 20 skeins
She really loves Color
I really, really love them a lot. I love them a lot. This is, there's not like really a name or anything, but this is This is their bright or variegated. And obviously it's pretty patriotic-y. But beautiful, beautiful colors.
And you told me if I'm good.
That's pretty good. This red is really like a dark ruby-ish red.
Does that help?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
It just seems like the colors aren't going to be super true. But that doesn't seem limited to us. So I feel better.
So that always comes with 5 skeins of color. Usually at least 1 or 2 variegated floss. And I think I like color and cotton so much because now that I'm older and more mature, I don't need these wildly variegated. For me, they have their place, but it's very, very rare that I use them. So these really wild ones will probably go to her because she'll use them more than I will. This is their primitive neutrals, which I tend to use a lot. Because a lot of Halloween stitching, a lot of like witchy stitching, they're darker colors.
Yeah, they are.
Brianne scoffs at this because it says prim.
Again, it's not. Although I will say, for years, I did basically turn my nose up at primitive style and designs. And apparently, you hit a certain age, and I don't know, I started liking more and more of them.
These are, and then I think it's called all colors. I do the 10 all colors. They have a 5 and a 10, and of course I'm a pig and I want all the colors. I mean, literally all colors. And like I said, this was more of I think there was, every month is kind of like a seasonal theme thing, and this is more patriotic. Last month, I think, was very pastel-y Easter. You liked a lot of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing, when I was younger, hated pastels. Love them now.
Yeah, sure.
I know.
And then I'm in there. It's their whatever fabric, because I was trying to get in their neutral primitive, but it's been full for ever. But they finally had an opening in this one, and I've been really happy. You get neutrals, you get like pastellis. This is. Oh,
does it work to put it on the ground? I think.
I don't know.
Maybe
This one is called Tumbleweed, and it just is. It's a nice neutral.
Is this more accurate?
It looks kind of gray on there. It's more browny than. But it's a neutral.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's appropriately named tumbleweed.
I think a lot of like I can see where a lot of Witchy Stitcher or like Lord of the Ring designs will be really good with this.
Yeah.
I don't think I bought any patterns because I have so many whips. I'm trying not to find new patterns. Although I do have to say the last month I have bought, I don't even know how many needle minders. And I have stitched for over 40 years. And, there haven't always been needle minders, but they've been around for a while. And I've seen them, and I've seen Flosstubers, and it's interesting when they have a needle minder that matches whatever they're stitching. I like that. Collection. What am I trying to say? Just accessorizing kind of a thing, like scissor fobs. To me, they just get in the way. But I like the idea, and I like the look, and I like matchy stuff.
Yeah.
She started right away using needle minders, and it's like, yeah, okay, well, whatever.
Frosted pumpkin.
Yeah, I just run them at the top edge, and I know that's where my needle is, and I don't even know how did you get me one?
I've gotten you some, like.
Oh yeah, frosted pumpkin. I have a lot of them,
but I have a lot of frosted pumpkin, and then I think it was for your birthday. I got you quite a few.
Yeah, you did.
Like cats, witchy. I don't remember. I got stuff.
And I started using them, and it's like, oh, hey, it's pretty convenient. So now I like needle minders because, again, I like that matchy-matchy thing, keeping the theme going.
Yeah.
So I purchased quite a few. Those are the major purchases that I've done, I think. And I have purchased a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I am quickly learning that not every needle minder is equivalent to, yeah. I have quickly found a couple of sellers, and I don't remember them offhand right now. One's in Australia. Magnificent artwork, and then the construction of the needle minder. Very, very pleased with them. And then I have found a couple that, oh, I'm going to just put this on my metal desk and it'll be a pretty little doohickey because it doesn't work at all. Well, it's a magnet.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine as a magnet, but to use as a needle minder...
Yeah, it doesn't serve the purpose of what I was hoping for. I have spent most of my crafting money on actual fabric because I sew too, and a lot of the fabric designers that I like, they come out with a collection twice a year, and so right now we're hot and heavy into Halloween fabrics, and so I've spent my wad of cash on that, and I'll show some of, like, the fabric bags. I'll show some of the sewing stuff that I do probably later. But a lot of that is just hand stitching because, again, machine intimidates me. I crochet a little bit, kind of, sort of. And I make cards. I reluctantly make cards.
Yeah.
I used to make cards a lot. My girlfriend and I had our own little small business, and we sold at craft fairs. And I think I got kind of burnt out. But I still make cards on occasion, and I have, again, because I am a collector, I have a boatload of card making stuff, and I need to use it up or donate it or something. But right now, the last couple of years, I've really concentrated on cross stitch.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is because she's found so many designers, like, I mean, I didn't used to look at Etsy much because it's like, I'm a crafter. I don't need to buy somebody who's crafting stuff. Well, I didn't realize, this just gives you a design to craft or cross stitch.
Yeah.
So it's Brianne's fault. That's what it is.
No, it is I don't know if it's the next generation.
It's just your fault.
Of designers and stitchers. They're coming out with a lot of different... Because, like, when you first started stitching, there wasn't really that much Star Wars.
No. Oh, there were no Star Wars.
So...
When I started stitching and then got beyond kits, where it was, like, bunnies and birds, and not that there's anything wrong, but it was, like, pastel bunnies and birds. The booklets that were available... And they were really popular, and I think I even stitched some, were like precious moments. I mean, that's what was available. I remember when I found my first book of castles, I nearly passed out because it was something that wasn't pastel.
Yeah.
So, not that there hasn't, all through the years, I found lots of things that I wanted to stitch, but it seems like, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, I'm just boggled by how many designers are out there, and really good designs. And just the variety is, it's stunning. I hear a lot of Flosstubers talking about, well, I'll never stitch all of this, and I'm trying to embrace the whole gentle art Swedish death thing, cleaning, Swedish death cleaning. Because I don't want to stick with Brianne with the mountains of crafting things that I have. But it's really hard because there's so many cool designs. Many cool designs.
Like we've talked about, if you get a prolific designer such as Witchy Stitcher, she's one of our favorites.
I don't think she's human.
I don't know how she does all the
doesn't
stuff she
sleep.
does. But if you get a prolific designer like Witchy Stitcher or Prairie Schooler, and you decided, well, I want to stitch all of their designs that I like, because they won't stop, you could theoretically stitch only like 2 or 3 designers for the rest of your life, and you still wouldn't get through all of their stuff. So if you are kind of like us in that we like different styles, different themes, like if you just wanted to do fandom related stuff, well, good luck. Because gosh. I mean, especially if you like some of the bigger fandoms like Star Wars, Harry Potter, I am discovering The Office. TV quotes are pretty darn popular on Etsy.
Well, and that's just it. You could be just pick 3 fandoms, mm-hmm. and you could be stitching for years. And if you, because Brianne likes a lot more fandom things mm-hmm. than I do.
Yeah.
Thank God she's younger. Mm-hmm. She's got a little, she's got more stitching time than me. But holy moly.
Yeah, and we don't have any of it to show, but we both were like, we're not doing full coverage. I'm not going to do full coverage. And then lo and behold, we started finding full coverage designs that we liked. And then we realized, well, we'll do full coverage, but we're not doing Hades. Like, we're not going to do Hades.
Hade was a 4-letter word. Mm-hmm. And we were just not going to be a party to that.
What have you started recently? Is it one Hade and one Hade-like that you started?
No, they're both Hades.
Oh, Chessie is Hade. So 2 Hades. I have no room to talk because I have one that I'm working on kitting up. I'm afraid to start it. I think I'm very intimidated by it. That's just it's such a big commitment. I don't like, as Ryan says on The Office, I don't like to commit to things, but I also don't like to not commit to things. So
Gemini
waffler, the worst. But we have found a handful of Hades that we're going to work on.
And I think that's where being a process stitcher just comes into
yes.
play. It is the joy of the stitching. Mm-hmm. And I probably won't ever see any of my Hades completed because, I'm old. And I have so many other things I want to stitch. And I'm a mood stitcher, and I don't mm-hmm. always want to just be faced with, the, oh my gosh, the one page of just solid.
Yeah.
Solid. Oh, and I don't even remember, a few years ago, I started a Disneyland yes. map, and I was like insane. Retro. Yeah. And I wanted to get it done for my husband's retirement, and he retired 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I worked, and now I was a monogamous stitcher. Mm-hmm. And I worked, and I got the first, I think, 4 pages done. And realized, oh, holy hell, there's no way I'm going to get this done. Mm-hmm. I started it like a year and a half before he was going to retire.
Yeah, it was.
And I realized there's no way I'm going to get this done. So I've had a taste of a Hade-like kind mm-hmm. of thing, and I have not picked it up since then, but I know I can do it now. That was the thing. I was always intimidated, thinking I could never do that. That is way too big. That's too full coverage. That's blah 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 blah. Well, no, you can. It's just cross stitch.
Yeah, and I think I do want to do some Hades. Before I was even looking at Hade on Etsy, I found what is she called? Like the Chocolate Girl or something? I think if you have heard or seen the book Longborn, I believe it's the cover of Longborn. It's a painting, and it is basically a Hade. Yeah, and I love it. It's
her dress
just
is a Hade.
It's beautiful, and I bought it and I showed her, and she just immediately started laughing because it's basically a Hade, and.
Yeah, she was adamant. She was never going to do a Hade. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
I'm just crazy.
And, yeah. So, my goal is, well, not goal, but my process is I'm working myself up to a Hade. So, that includes working on smaller, larger, I don't know, teenier fabric to make sure that I'm comfortable with it. I can figure it out. I've done a couple of smaller full coverage. It's fine. I am a, what is it, cross country?
She's major cross country.
I'm a cross country.
She travels continents.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it because I am not, I just literally like stitching. I don't like having to start and finish the end of the strand.
And I'm like opposite. I'm really anal retentive about that because I've always been like that. So she comes whipping out with
Yeah.
But she's right, because if somebody's going to come and criticize the back of her work, which I do, but I do it in love. I almost had a potty mouth. Then screw them.
She almost said F them, but you know.
Yeah, because she's having fun. It looks good. Who cares?
That's just it. The finished product, it's going to be, the back you're not going to see for however I'll finish it. The design looks great, and I'm not going to fight with it because this one in particular, it was confetti, almost swore. It's confetti stitching, which I don't like. I really don't like confetti.
And you know, Hades are a lot of confetti, right?
Yeah, okay. And see, so I'm working my way up to a Hade because there are some really pretty things.
There's some gorgeous pieces, full coverage pieces.
But I am trying to basically limit myself to a handful of Hades for my lifetime because I would like to finish at least one. And the first one that I'm going to start is a quick stitch. I will never do a super max. I'm going to try really hard not to do the regular size because, like you said, there's plenty of other things I want to stitch.
There's somebody, there's a Flosstuber out there that is doing Firefly, but they're all cats. And I was so astounded.
The show Firefly.
Yeah, I was so astounded by it. I looked it up. Mm-hmm. And it was a kit, and I want to say it was, I don't know, 300, 370, something like that. And then I looked at the stitch count, and I can't even really remember the stitch count. All I know, it was a tapestry because it was going to be like 4 or 5 feet long because it's a rectangle. And I still was still mulling it over. And then I stopped, and it's like, okay, given your age and all the stuff you want to stitch and the density of this, and it's like, and $300, $350, you could spend it on other stuff.
And I would not finish it for her.
But she shows it. I don't know how often she works on it. She shows it. It's magnificent. It's just, I'm so impressed, and she's younger than me, so I'm really hoping that she finishes it in my lifetime so I can see it all finished. It's astounding to me what's out there that you can stitch, and they are pieces of artwork. Mm-hmm. Brianne has promised. I have a Millennium Falcon Hade that I haven't started. I was going to start it this year, but I'm going to start it next year. She said out of anything big like that, she would finish that if I died before I finished it because I love the Falcon so much, and that would be a good representation of me.
Yeah.
So that'll be my cross stitching legacy.
Yeah. So, do you want to do?
Plans.
Yeah. Oh, I moved it in front of me. I was gonna say, yeah, we're just following.
Wow, this is just such a big, huge.
Oh yeah, you can't see the table. It's covered with everything.
We're trying to keep it all neat and tidy.
We started with neat and tidy boxes, and yeah. Okay.
Oh, plants are. They're tiny.
So this includes some of the haul because. So this is hard because I only have the pattern, so I gotta figure out how to show. I'm gonna combine 2 patterns, so I'm gonna go really far back, and you can't see. This is, like tombstone, headstone cover. So I'm gonna do this thing. So I'm trying to block it, and I'm gonna combine it with this pattern, and I'm not gonna do this, and I'm gonna put that other skull there. I love this pattern and the font, because more words. In the forest, dark and deep, I offer you eternal sleep. I don't really know why. I apparently am not the only one, because there are a lot of patterns that do the tombstone, memento mori type of stuff. Really, really like it. I
They could be history lovers too.
yeah, I wanted a weathered stone fabric because duh. And for the floss, I wanted like that etch look. I wanted darker than the fabric, and I don't know if I'm gonna have to learn how to blend for this, but I also wanted to get a little bit of, weathered stone gets the lichen, that mossy green plant life growing in it. So I was trying to look for all that. Bestitch Me had, I think, a ready to ship fabric sale, so I got Portobello. This is 16 count Aida.
So pretty.
I got a giant piece. I won't need all of this, but I think this is actually a pretty good representation.
It looks headstone-y to me.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It's subtle modeling. It's a little warmer than on screen, but I thought it was pretty good. And then I got some Forbidden Fiber flosses to try. Umber, Garland, and OOAK number 62. I don't know. I thought that they would be... Oh, well, you can't see any of this. But anyway, they do weathered stone, like gray, dark greeny moss. And she told me about some color and cotton, winter flannel, and paving stones. So I'll probably order that. And then I have to do... I thought of this. I have thought about this, like the floss toss. Do you get it? Do you get it? Wicked toss. Okay. I'm going to do a floss toss to see what colors work best for that. So that is an upcoming, not quite kitted up all the way, but it's almost there. And then another one. Oh, guys, I'm so excited about this one. Remember my tiny scapula? Well, it's by the same designer, and it's Girl with the Pearl Earring. So I count this as full coverage. I don't care that it's 35 by 35 stitches and only 2.5 inches. This is full coverage. And for that dinky little thing, 18 colors of DMC. So here it is. All of these for 2.5 by 2.5. I will be stitching it on the same 16 count easy grid because I have it. Although I'll have to say I don't think I've ever used the grid.
Yeah, I bought some too, and I missed out on that tutorial. I see that a lot of people, especially for full coverage, they use the easy grid.
Yeah.
And
I guess we're just missing how you use it because we just count from what
I
we're
get that
working
the
on.
squares are 10 by 10, but I guess I haven't been able to correlate that too well with... Yeah.
So
it's still working.
It's fine. And then the next one is another Night Spirit Studio. I am so excited to start this. I cannot
You've had
tell
this
you.
for a long time.
I've had this for a very long time. It's called something. It is called
Scarlet Pimpernel.
Guillotine with floral motif, and I have elected to do with blood because it's a guillotine, and if you don't do it with blood, I don't think it's accurate or right. I'm a little judgy as well. Here it is, guys. Do you see how beautiful this is? And the blood will be done in étoile. The rest of the flowers will be red. DMC and DMC étoile. It will be stitched on 28 count Lugana. My very first time not on Aida, so that's why I haven't started yet because I'm a little nervous. It is called Dracula's Wallpaper, and it is by Steel City Stitchers. Tell me, is this not perfect? I bought this fabric off of the Witchy Stitcher shop, and I saved it because I knew that I would get something perfect for it. I think a guillotine is, I don't know how it gets better. So that will be, she's going to help me start on the Lugana. But those are I have more, but those are my upcomings that are pretty much kitted up.
That'll be cool.
Once again, you guys see this? Look at this. If you don't know and you can't tell, I like vampire stuff. I like skulls. I like blood-themed things. Blood spatter is one of the best patterns. I like the dark things speak to me. So.
In your rainbow.
Yes, in my little tie-dye. Again, Gemini.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
I have 2 starts for June. I started out at the beginning of the year, and I wrote in ink in my planner the month, each month what starts I wanted to do, and then I find patterns and rediscover, I already had gotten this one, and so I've learned not to write in ink.
Yes. First, what there's like some quote where like you write your goals in ink and your plans in pencil or something.
Yeah, but for June, because it's summer and because I think I've had this for a couple 3 years and just realized that I had it, so I printed it finally. I love the colors, and I'm going to start this one. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, the colors are coming up.
It's an older one, but it's beautiful.
Very, very pretty.
I'm just going to stitch it on 20 count white Ada because it's full coverage. DMC. I don't even think I'll do any etoile.
Well, you don't need it.
No. I mean, the pattern is just beautiful itself. And with the Country Magic Stitch, like I said, she has a lot of patterns. She has her Star Wars planets, she has Harry Potter, and she has Lord of the Rings, and those are the ones that really interest me. And I was going to do one at a time, but like I said, I'm getting old, so I need to kind of speed things up. So I decided I'll just have one pattern from each realm going constantly.
Yeah.
So I don't have any Lord of the Ring things going.
Yeah, not yet.
So this is, I'm going to actually start stitching this tomorrow. And there's a weensy bit of the, I'll do this. Never mind. See? And I am going to do Rivendell. I gave Brianne the choice. Should I do Brianne or Rivendell? And she looked at me like, come on, lady.
I'm Rivendell.
Now, I believe the little lacy parts of the, here. The little lacy parts of like the gazebo and arches, I'm going to do those in etoile.
Told you, she gets the etoile
Because
in.
elves, wouldn't they have etoile? Of course they would. Of course they would.
She keeps it reasonable. Like it's not like she's just
It's
going
not
rogue
gaudy
with
like Heidi would be stitching. Heidi's my best friend, and she won't ever watch this because it's about stitching.
She likes glitter. There's nothing wrong with liking glitter.
Oh, she loves glitter. She kind of bathes in glitter. Yeah. So etoile is just a really nice, just a little shimmer.
Like, okay.
And it's very, very easy to work with, unlike anything else I've worked with.
So to give, I don't know if this will show up on camera.
I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't really. It has a...
See. Can you guys see?
And see that? It almost looks black, but that's like the... What is that, 814 or something?
814. It's very, very subtle.
Yeah.
I've never...
Oh, sorry.
I've never stitched with the Kreinik, the metallics. So I can't speak to that. She has, and she said that etoile is a very smooth, easy to stitch, and I have to agree. I haven't had any issues with it. It's
not as shiny or metallic-y as Kreinik. I mean, or DMC like the Diamante or whatever, which is horrible. That's like stitching with wire. That is. Oh.
And see, the whole thing is, I want to have fun stitching. This adds a little bit of color. It seems like they're coming out with more toile. I'm hoping that means it's popular and they'll do more. But I don't want to fight with my project.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big fan of the toile.
Are those all your upcoming?
That's it. Okay. See, I'm being kind of reasonable because also included in my plans, what I'm hoping to do is finish the stitching. It's always finish the stitching. The finish. That's, you'll hear angels and trumpets when I actually finish because it's so rare.
Yeah.
But that little Witchy Stitcher, that Snow Moon, I'm hoping to finish that one. It should be pretty easy.
Yeah, it's so not that bad.
And then the Merrier World
with the
the pint and the
food,
the oatmeal or whatever it is. I missed his birthday, so I'm hoping that just wrap it up, Kathy, and I can give it to him for Christmas.
Yeah.
So those are my major plans. And to keep up with the greenhouse oddities.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a new pattern every Friday for 4 Fridays, and then she takes a break.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get through that dragon for Diagon Alley, and then I need to just throw on some more color on Tatooine. So
yeah, I don't really have set plans. Like I said, that
it's how the wind is blowing.
Very funny. The Cabinet of Curiosities style. I will.
Oh, yeah. I'm anxious to see that.
I will keep up with it.
You will.
So that one we get the first clue on June 1st. We're filming this on the 28th of May. And
we're hoping to have it posted before May is over.
Oh, I thought we were doing it on the 13th.
Oh, are we saving it?
Okay. So
we don't know.
So the upcoming, I'm not going to be
That might be better because I didn't want to do 2 weeks. You know, like have our first one and then two weeks later after we're saying we don't know if we're even going to have a second one.
Yeah. So anyway, for my upcoming plans, because I was not done, I don't want to be penned in at all. So
Brianne, get that cabinet done.
Yes, and I did not. I chose to do the sale. I signed up for it. I was excited.
I willingly paid for it.
Yes, I willingly paid for it. She donated fabric. I bought all the floss, and there's a lot of floss. And I got to it, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. You can't tell me what to do.
Stitch more words. Give me more words.
So I argue with myself and tell myself, Brianne, you wanted to do this. And then it's like, but I don't want to do it right now.
Take a little nap.
So anyway, my upcoming plans are going to be very minimal here because...
Maybe we should get like a little fan and just like let it flutter all this stuff. Upcoming plans, and that'll be the theme.
You're very clever. But those are the upcoming plans. As far as like housekeeping stuff, we're gonna try to post on the 13th of the month because she wanted to post on the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
I say try. I don't know how to edit YouTube videos, so...
We don't even know how to post, do we? I say we, and I don't mean
when we say we in reference to technical things, it's me, the full-time worker, who's already on a computer all day.
So, how convenient, right?
So
plus, she's 30 years younger than me. She knows all this technical crap stuff, and I don't. And it makes me mad.
So, our goal is to post once a month, trying for the 13th. We will be going through finished stuff here and there. We will probably... my voice gets higher. We will probably look at comments. Don't know how active we will be unless you have a specific question about something we have mentioned. And for this one, go ahead.
I'm mean. I am really, really mean. I get that. But I try to be polite. And, it's kind of like do unto others kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. This is our channel. We've created it for the reasons that we've stated and maybe not have stated every reason. You are free to watch us or not. We don't Okay, this is going to sound a little bit harsh.
Yeah.
We really don't care if you like and subscribe, because we're just doing this for, just see, like 3 hours ago when we stated why we were doing this. That's why we're doing it. We're not trying to make any money. We're not trying to be influencers. I hate that word. We're not trying to do any of this. This is not a business. I mean, it could be for her, but I'm retired. I'm just crafting when I want to craft.
Yeah. No.
So
it's just supposed to be fun.
Right. And if it gets to be not fun, then we will stop, or she'll do it by herself. If there are rude comments and stuff, I'm just not going to deal with that shit. I'm just not going to. And I will learn how to delete and block.
And she hates learning technical things.
I do.
So she will take time away from stitching her beloved designs to figure out how to delete your comment and block you if you're being a buttwad.
Yeah. If you have questions that we haven't answered, or she hasn't linked, or whatever she's doing,
all the information too will be in the description box.
We'll try to answer your question, and you know,
and
either I figure you're gonna like this or you're not, and either way is fine with us.
Yeah, and we're not apologizing if I don't respond to your question for 3 months. Well, not to be rude, but I do have a life. It might not be world traveler life, but I have a life, and I don't want to take a bunch of time away from things that I like. So we'll probably get to you when we get to you.
See, now that sounded really harsh to me. I was nicer.
I don't mean it in a rude way.
I will probably respond more, because I actually like to do typing.
Okay, guys,
typing
I get
response.
really...
Her job is responding to emails. I mean, her job. So she is like...
I do get tired from work. So yeah,
Her main... I am so tired of these emails.
Or they come in and it's like, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know the answer either.
I don't know.
I do look it up. Like, I don't reply with that.
No, I wasn't trying to infer that.
But for the first
Ivy won't watch this, right?
For the first one, we are going to ask. You've now seen what we're about. What kind of smattering of what we like to stitch.
Our flavor of stitching.
Yeah.
So I do have a specific request. We do. If you have some floss tubers that you love that stitch kind of the stuff that we're stitching, can you please give us recommendations? Because I am looking, and I have actively, in my pathetic way, I have tried to find like-minded stitchers who have a floss tube, and I've not been very successful.
It is hard, and it's nothing against people who love samplers. I'm very happy that they are able to find things that they love to stitch. I'm not a fan of samplers, and for me, samplers tend to look similar, both in style and color, and it's just not for me. And it's really hard to find, like you said, it's really hard to find floss tubes that include not only a variety, but a variety of things that we like.
And this is the other thing. I love the Witchy Stitcher. Love her stuff. I don't like gore.
Yeah, so that's
okay, like the bloody guillotine is fine. I don't consider that gore. But like, I don't like horror is what I don't like.
Yeah, and it's really hard because Witchy Stitcher, while she does do gothy, Wiccan, Star Wars, she has that kind of stuff. She also does, what did she call it? The chopping mall? A horror movie style, which we're not going to do because we don't like horror movie. So it's like, if you like that kind of stuff, it almost always includes horror. So it's very hard.
Again, picky. Really picky.
Yeah.
And if I could just find some people who like to stitch a lot of the weird stuff that I like to stitch, I'd like to watch their floss tube and see.
Yeah, so please, if you think we would like them, or you just want to recommend somebody, go ahead, put it in the comments. We will be watching those, keeping track of those. And I did not mean to sound harsh. I will try to get back to questions and things like that in a reasonably timely manner. And I will try.
Yeah. Because we're only human.
Yeah. We have an Instagram account. We haven't posted anything there, but we have an Instagram account. It's all the same name, Curmudgeon Crafters. Have Gmail if you have questions or something. I don't... And yeah, like my mom said, we don't care about liking or subscribing. We're just having fun. I don't... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
I think so. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Hope you saw something that maybe you didn't see before or interests you. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Live long and stitch.
Okay, Lord.